This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
All right, there he is, the man, the myth, the legend. How you feeling, baby? I know you're feeling a lot better than Cam Wolf, who's been stuck in Buffalo for the last 2 weeks.
Who wants to be stuck there, right? I mean, in that freezing cold and that snow and everything else. I'm doing good. Oh, here in sunny South Florida, getting ready to coach my daughters in soccer the next few days, practices and whatnot. So I it's the off season, man. It's kind of chilly right now.
Yeah, it looks like following you this week, kind of a slow week this week, huh? Not a lot
No.
is ruined. After last week, it's they find a quarterback and it's like, hey, all right, and now this week it's like, hey, there's nothing going on. Larinaga, Meyer, yeah, okay, that's what's going on. That's about it, right?
Yeah. Yeah, this is one of those periods. They will have junior day this weekend as far as the football team is concerned. So they'll have a bunch of guys on campus. I told you last week about the importance of just maintaining those elite recruiting classes, right? Stacking. So they're going to have a lot of recruits on campus, guys that they hope to be in the battle for come the summertime when decisions are made, and then hopefully to hold on to them in December. So that process has begun. But I think as far as this roster is concerned, they hosted an offensive guard from Washington, Nate Kalepo, the starting left guard for that unit this past weekend. I don't know that Kalepo's going to end up here. They've got a lot of good offensive linemen. I mean, he'd be the guy you just sort of move in there at left guard. He replaces Javian Cohen. You don't have to worry about playing any of the young guys. But I think at the same time, too, you're playing that delicate game of how many veterans do you bring in before you start driving away some of the younger guys who want an opportunity for a starting job. So that's the delicate balance of that. But for now, it's all about Cam Ward. It's all about spring football and developing the guys that you have on this roster.
What do you know now about Cam Ward you didn't know last week?
Well, just the fact that he is a guy who really cares about his development. He's a guy that wants to take the next level up. He wants to be a first round pick. I think he's a guy who looks at this as an opportunity to raise his stock. You got to remember something. He's a former unranked recruit who signed with Incarnate Word coming out of high school. So for him, this is a story about elevation. This is about raising yourself to levels that nobody thought you could reach. He obviously went to Washington State and did some good things, but people look at Washington State as one of those schools that is way out there. They're on the West Coast. Nobody really pays attention to them much. They were in the Pac-12, what was the old Pac-12. Now they're not even in a Power 5 conference. This is stepping his game up.
Watch out. The Cougs produce more quarterbacks than most schools.
Oh, they do. I'm not knocking him for that. What I'm saying is
I'm just saying, considering perception, reality is we've got some quarterbacks out of that school. Okay?
Oh yeah, no, there's no question. There's no question. He's another one of those, and he might be the best one, to be honest, to come out of that school. We'll see how he develops here.
Bledsoe probably is still the best one. I don't know.
Right, but if Cam Ward has the kind of career he wants to have, being the kind of dynamic threat with the big arm, then he'll work himself into the first round and be a guy that an NFL team builds around. That's what he wants to be. He wants to be the guy. And
now
he
better come to reality that he'll never have the mustache of Minshew. Just
no.
All right. I just want to make sure. Make sure when you talk to Cam that he can be the great at everything. He won't have the best mustache to ever come out of Washington State or Miami, because that will go to Minshew. Obviously, the porn stash only goes to one person, so that's about it. Okay, I like it. I like it. So in other words, you're telling me it's not where he ended pro. So don't get crazy on me out there. But the kid was a next level professional, and that's King. King was like that, right? He was a guy that was professional all the way to the and I get he wanted to be an NFL quarterback, but obviously the Lord didn't give him those kind of gifts. So it is, unfortunately. But he was a pro's pro, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was, and now he's a coach at SMU with Rhett Lashley. So he, that was something that I always sort of expected for De'Eric, that he would eventually get into coaching. You look at a guy like Cam Ward, maybe that's down the road for him too, but I really think he's blessed with enough gifts, enough physical gifts, the size, the arm strength, to be a legitimate NFL prospect and to be a guy who, with a great season at Miami, look, if everything works out for him, right, and this offense hums and they make the playoff or win the ACC championship, right, and they have one of those type seasons, I'm willing to bet there's going to be a lot of NFL teams that look at him and say, okay, he proved it. He proved it at a high level. It's not the SEC, it's not the Big Ten, but if he can lead his team to a conference championship, right, or get them into the playoff, he's got to have something special about him. And so I think he just looks at this opportunity at Miami as that chance for him to prove to everybody who's always doubted him and said, oh, he's just an incarnate word kid, or he's this and that. That he can be special and be somebody who is a real NFL quarterback.
And this will go out to all the Tua hating idiots out there. They won't like to hear this part here, but Cam Ward, in order for him to be that, every quarterback needs this, including Tua and every other one. You need playmakers, bro.
Yeah.
Playmakers. So who's going to step up? We need a couple of guys. Like a few years ago when Van Dyke looked so good, it was Rambo and KJ doing some stuff for you, making you look good. And in years past, whatever quarterback was in college or for the Dolphins, whether it was Santana Moss in college or Mark Clayton in the NFL, somebody was making your quarterback look good. It wasn't only that he was good. So
right.
Cam's going to need playmakers, bro, at tight end and at wide receiver. Who can we really count on?
I think the only two guys that you can say are proven in that receiver room right now are Jacoby George and Xavier Restrepo. And those are the two guys that come back with stats, with numbers, with production. Now, are they elite NFL, type receivers? I think George probably has a higher ceiling than Restrepo does, because Restrepo isn't a burner. He isn't a guy with a lot of speed. Both of them, to me, are quality college receivers. Are they anything more than that? I don't know that Cam Ward has that on the roster right now. Now, there are some incoming freshmen that I really like a lot. Guys that I think can eventually develop into that. I think JoJo Trader is an elite player, whether he's playing offense or defense. I would think this is a guy who will end up playing on Saturdays. I think Chance Robinson is a quality number 2 type college receiver, a guy with pro potential because of his size. But you're counting on freshmen and young guys to step into those roles. So that's why I think come the spring window, when the transfer period opens again, right, I think there is a very good possibility that Miami will be in the market for a receiver who says, I want to go play with Cam Ward and I want to go be the guy. So we could see something very similar to what happened at FSU with them, how they were able to add somebody, in the kid they got from Michigan State, who's a big time prospect. So, I think that's the kind of scenario we could see playing out in the spring.
Yeah, didn't George have some funky fouls in that Rutgers game or something? Didn't he?
He did, and he also got himself in trouble driving, and yeah. So
yeah. So Cam Ward's going to need some maturity around him and playmakers, because every quarterback needs that. So I'm glad that he's here, but Mario, you better go out and get yourself a stud that he can count on in a big time way. All right, what are you working on in the athletics so folks can check you out, my friend?
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, it's been a busy time in the transfer portal, so we're finally, that story I've been working on for like a week, because I'm sitting here researching all these rosters in the ACC and the SEC, and just putting together sort of hey, what happened, right? Like, what happened, because most of us aren't keeping track of the day-to-day activity. That'll be coming out tomorrow. The ACC story will be coming out tomorrow on the Athletic Wednesday, and then my SEC story will be coming out Thursday. So you'll have back-to-back pictures of what the roster reconstruction looks like in the league. And remember, the ACC's expanded to 17 teams now. We've got Stanford, we've got Cal, we've got SMU. Just speaking to you, I think Miami's roster overhaul, I kind of broke it down into winners, broke even, and losers. I put Miami in the winners bracket for roster portal work, because they got Cam Ward. That was a huge part of it. I would not have put him in the winners bracket if they didn't get Cam Ward. They would have been broke even or maybe even in the loser category. The fact that they got Cam Ward is a big difference maker.
Now get me a damn receiver. All right, follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navarro and catch his work there at The Athletic. Better yet, subscribe. Manny, as always, thank you, my brother. We'll catch up on Friday.
All right, brother. Good talking to you. Take care.
Appreciate you. And don't forget, use our code BIGO10 at Caneswear, either at caneswear.com or in person when you go live at 2655 South University Drive in Davie. They got Inter Miami gear. You can get a Messi t-shirt, a Messi jersey, all that kind of stuff. Heat gear. Yeah, baby. Terry Rozier. We got all kinds of stuff. Marlins gear. You can use Velcro there since they change the names all the time. All kinds of stuff there at Caneswear. Go to caneswear.com, check it out. Use our code BIGO10. Heat made a big trade. The man that's been covering the Heat for a long, long time, Ira Winderman, joins us next.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.